Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we are coming in with an unscripted PvP video, which sounds like a recipe for disaster in more ways than one, but actually I'm kind of excited to do it. If you've been following the channel and myself for a while, then you probably know, maybe you know, that I'm a big fan of PvP in the Division. It's really what made me fall in love and stick with this franchise in the long term. I mean, back in the early days of Division 1, that was all I did. I didn't really care much for PvE. It has grown on me over time. Of course, I very much enjoy all the offerings in the Division, but PvP has always been my truest enjoyment in this franchise. That said, there hasn't really been much to talk about with it specifically in quite a while, so that's why I haven't really done one in, a good amount of time. But that changes today. There are some things that have happened lately that I want to talk about regarding PvP, also some stuff coming up in the future, a few different topics that I want to touch on, and I'm excited for this. I think it should be pretty fun, so let's dive into it. The first one that I want to talk about is the recent cheating and ban wave that went out for some various PvP glitches. Now, there has been a lot of drama within the community surrounding this with different members on Twitter and whatnot. I'm not here to talk about any of that. I don't care. That's not what I do here on the channel. What I want to talk about is the impact that had on the game and what really went down. So if you were unaware, there was a big glitch going around in the recent weeks, maybe up to even like a month ago, where people were able to go invisible in the DZ and then, still shoot and attack and damage and kill other players. And of course, that is an exploit. That is not intended in any way, and it was creating a very negative effect on the PvP and the Dark Zone experience of the game. And so there was a huge outcry for Massive and Ubisoft to implement bans and, restrictions and just punishments to these players who were utilizing that exploit, because again, you had to knowingly do it, to my knowledge, and I don't even know how it was achieved. I never look into any of that stuff because I don't care to know. I don't care to do it unless I can, help report it and get it fixed. To everything that I'm aware of in my knowledge, it was something that you had to very intentionally do. It wasn't just like it would accidentally happen to you and then you were stuck with it. So anyone who was doing it was pretty much guaranteed to be at fault and therefore, probably deserve some form of punishment. And so that went on for many weeks where there were issues with people actually getting the reports in. There were things on the Ubisoft support website where it was not allowing them to properly report players, even if they had video evidence and stuff like that. The in-game reports didn't really seem to be doing their job. Well, finally, weeks later, after a lot of controversy and silence surrounding that, there was a ban wave that was put in for, from what I understand, a good number of the people who were taking advantage of that exploit. The problem was, or the thing that has caused a lot of conversation and controversy, is that there was only a 1-week ban. It was not anything permanent. It didn't reset any... there's not really progress to be earned in PvP in that sense, like there was back during the damage glitch after Warlords came out, but it was just, a lot of people had a lot of different opinions about it being a 1-week ban as opposed to something like a permanent one or something more long-term. Here's my thoughts on it. I think a 1-week ban isn't enough. I don't understand why that was the fullest extent of the punishment that they delivered, and I don't really think that's going to discourage anybody from doing anything in the future. You know what I mean? Like, if every time one of these glitches comes up, it runs through the DZ for 3 to 4 weeks, people take advantage of it, it's creating a bad experience, and then those people just get a slap on the wrist with a 1-week ban, what's to stop them from doing it over and over and over again each time a new glitch comes up? So in my opinion, I think a 1-week ban was totally not enough. I think a lot of these people, like I said, will continue to utilize other exploits in the future, and unless the plan is that Massive and Ubisoft are going to track those players, and if they do it again, then they'll get a more serious one for the next one. Maybe that works, but that just seems so complicated. It's against the terms of service to utilize knowing exploits like that in the game, and I really don't see why a 1-week ban was the furthest extent they were willing to go to punish this action. So I don't really want to linger on it for too long, other than to say I'm glad action was finally taken against this exploit, and I hope it gets fully resolved and fixed very soon, but I do not think a 1-week ban was sufficient enough of a punishment for what was, incurring upon the other players in the game, and I don't think that that's a sufficient punishment to carry forward for future exploits, and I hope we don't see that, because like I said, I don't think that's really going to discourage anybody from repeating the behavior. Beyond that, though, and now that we're kind of moving past the little era here of the invisibility glitch, now that it's getting bans and they're hopefully going to fix it soon, I want to talk about the general discussion surrounding PvP, because it has been pretty interesting lately from what I've seen online. And that's that, more than usual, I've seen a lot of negativity and negative responses and comments made about PvP recently. And to be completely fair, it's not undeserved, right? There was a lot of problems with PvP that have been in the game for a long time, and I can't really blame anybody for being upset or frustrated by the state of PvP in the game. What does interests me and what intrigues me and kind of why I wanted to talk about it was because it seems like a much greater response than has been in the game previously or in the conversation in the community, where nothing. I mean, I guess the cheating and the invisibility exploit might have stoked some of those comments to be put out, but there hasn't really been anything that's happened that's warranted an extra negative response about the stuff. And like I said, I don't blame anybody who feels that way, and I very much hope that can be remedied in the future. And we're going to talk about Season 11 in a few minutes here. But I've seen a lot of people saying they're done with PvP, they're moving on. Maybe they'll come back if improvements are made, but it's just super interesting to see. To its credit, though, and there's always people who say, I don't understand why anybody enjoys this type of PvP. It's so cheesy. It's not. I don't know. There's just so many people who don't get it, right? And that's fine. Not everything has to satisfy everybody. The Division offers a lot of different experiences and content for a lot of different people, but I will say this, in PvP's defense, can you imagine in like a Call of Duty title if one of the, I don't know, their yearly releases, or now they're doing every 2 years, there had been a release where 3 to 4 different tacticals or lethals or just an item in the game or a gun allowed you to like one-shot players and just walk around and do something that was blatantly overpowered and not intended. Can you imagine how violent that community would get online, and just how volatile and how many people would instantly put down the game and leave until it got fixed? Well, think about the Division 2. I mean, to a degree, the Division, the original game, but especially the Division 2 since Warlords with status effects and the shrapnel trap and the fire sticky and all that stuff. How many people have just put up with it and played PvP despite those issues? I think that is an immense testament to just how unique an experience the PvP in this game provides. Again, it's not for everybody, and that's totally fine, but for people like myself, for the many other PvP players out there who have continued to play and support PvP in this game despite these very clear issues, I think it just speaks to how unique and how loved the PvP in this franchise really is. And so it is sad to see all this big uptick in negative conversation surrounding PvP lately, but that does bring me to the last point here, which is that there is a bit of hope on the horizon. And that's kind of what I want to end off with. And you can see in this tweet right here that they put out a while ago. Of course, I think I did a dedicated video on this when it first came out, but back on, what was this? Yeah, August 18th, they said, PvP players, we know you long for PvP improvements, rightfully. Season 10 is not the update that will bring those changes, but if everything goes according to plan, you will start seeing PvP-specific changes with Season 11. And then, in the Season 10 reveal stream, which happened, a little over a month ago, we got kind of an elaboration and confirmation by Yannick that what they really mean by this is that in Season 11, they plan to bring in a lot of changes that should, keyword should, bring the PvP experience in line, fix all of the major outliers that are causing these, unfortunate, we'll say, scenarios that play out, stuff like the fire sticky status effects. I'm assuming they haven't said that by name, but a lot of the outliers that are causing a lot of frustrations in PvP, and they just want to smoothen out the entire experience of the existing PvP content that we have in the game. Now, in many ways, that excites me. I think the first step that we're seeing towards that was with the shrapnel trap change. Obviously, that was meant to be fixed in TU 16.1, where they were going to nullify its power and kind of remove it as the OP item that it currently is. That fix didn't work for whatever reason. I think currently on the known issues board it says it's going to be resolved in TU 16.2, so hopefully once that goes in, that will finally address that problem. But like I said, there are still a number of other things in PvP that are clear outliers as far as issues in terms of balance, in terms of just the overall experience. And so I hope that is what they are really going to be able to tackle in Season 11. And with, like I said, this recent uptick of negativity surrounding the PvP conversation, I hope that a lot of these people who have been burned by PvP and who are currently not playing or taking a break will give the game and the developer team the opportunity to come back and try it once some of these changes go live with Season 11. Again, fingers crossed, they say right here, if everything goes according to plan. So I'm banking on and hoping that this does go live with Season 11, but like I said, for how unique PvP is in this game, for all the people out there who, like myself, have just really fallen in love with this style of gameplay that it offers and the experience that it provides, I really hope that these changes they're planning for Season 11 do really improve the experience and smoothen it out to what I think we all know the baseline good experience it could be. And I really hope that we are delivered, just that solid gameplay experience that I think a lot of us want. So I don't think we should be expecting any huge new PvP content to be coming with Season 11. I mean, Yannick said as much in that stream. They're not going to make, or at least for this update, they're not making a new Dark Zone. They're not going to do new, conflict modes or maps or whatever. But I really hope that they can go in, hopefully change some of the conflict rule sets. I think that certainly falls under the category of the negative PvP experience. I hope they can do some balancing stuff with status effects, the fire sticky, all of that, change some of those outliers, make PvP a more predictable and smooth experience, because there are a lot of things when you go into PvP that just don't make sense. And especially for newer players coming in and trying it out for the first time, I bet that's frustrating. I would be frustrated if I went in and got one shot by something and I didn't understand why it was happening, or it wasn't clearly communicated that that was its intended purpose, or whatever it may be. And so I really hope that that is what they can focus on for Season 11. And as a PvP fan, again, I've been a fan of PvP in this franchise for over 6 years now. I truly, truly hope that these changes they have coming with Season 11 can really improve the experience, because I would love to see PvP return to its former glory, and I think it deserves it, and I think all the players that continue to support it deserve that. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your current thoughts about PvP in The Division 2. What do you think about the things that they have coming up towards Season 11? Is that going to change any of your perspective on PvP in The Division 2? Are you one of those people who are currently kind of taking a break from it? Right now in Season 10, TU16 with the issues, the delay of the Shrapnel Trap fix and any of that, is that altered your opinion or your gameplay tendencies towards PvP right now? And what do you think about the banning situation regarding the invisibility exploit? Do you think that a 1-week suspension was really sufficient as a punishment for a knowing and intentional exploit that these players committed? Do you think that that should be the same standard moving forward? Should it perhaps be greater, like I personally think? I would love to hear all of your thoughts about any and all of those subjects, because as much as I love discussions, I love PvP just as much, and so combine the two, and that's probably one of my favorite things to cover on this channel. So I very much hope that a lot of you enjoyed, and that I will hear your thoughts about it down below. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.